Welcome back again. Our Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa has alleged that terrorist groups operating in Nigeria are receiving foreign funding to sustain their destabilization agenda. Now, Musa said some surrendered terrorists, as well as those apprehended by troops, were found in possession of foreign currency. He emphasized the need for a more proactive and strategic approach to addressing security challenges across the country. Meanwhile, the High Command of the Nigerian Army, the military, has honored outstanding officers who have made exceptional contributions to the successes achieved so far, particularly in the ongoing fight against terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other emerging security threats. So to discuss this, we are joined by security expert Edinan Osoro. You're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Osoro. So regarding this issue of foreign financing, how can financial intelligence be leveraged to trace and also block the flow of funds to terrorists, as has been noted by the Chief of Defense Staff? And also these organizations, what role do financial institutions play in identifying suspicious transactions?
I think we need to begin from the financial institutions or the financial systems in Nigeria. Just this week or past week, some monies were returned to Nigeria from the United States. Money said to belong to former Minister of Petroleum, Alison Madweke. Now, how did they get to know that? That was entirely monies that came up due to the kind of audits and compliance of their financial system. So number one, we need to make it punishable if a bank or a financial institution will allow monies to flow, illicit funds to flow through our banking system. We need to get to that point. We need to. And because if you don't, and then these things will continue. And most importantly, government really need to, like we try to copy some things halfway. If you contravene any law in the banking system in the UK, in the US, or anywhere in Europe, your name will be mentioned. Your money is seized, it will be mentioned. It's not a whoosh kind of a thing. But here you only hear money is passing through, illicit funds are passing through our banking system, and people, sometimes names are mentioned abroad, and those people are never, brought to book. And if we don't do that, sir, we keep on having this problem.
Okay. So what are the common methods? I'm hoping we know. What are the common methods used by terrorists to actually launder foreign funds, and what techniques can be employed to detect such activities?
Sometimes we need to check some of our international businessmen, traders, people, bringing in big multi-billion naira vehicles. You need to also check out people bringing luxury items, because sometimes it may not really be, cash is coming in, which is easily detectable if our banks are doing the right thing. So we begin to need now to do a kind of surveillance on luxury items of all kinds, whether we're talking about watches, we're talking about cars, we're talking about clothing, we're talking about, of course, there are all kinds of costly luxury items. We need to begin to look into that. And then again, the issue of our borders, the way presently they are, somebody can easily walk in with millions of dollars across our borders, which will be difficult for us to trace it to any of the banks. And so we need to, while we're talking about auditing our banking systems or putting surveillance on them, we also need to look at our borders. We're still having issues. People come into our country and go out. And through such means, arms come in and go out. What about the issue of, you just hear it it's like voicemail, you hear people talk about illegal mining. And they are everywhere. almost everywhere in all the states. You see people mining in the daytime, morning time, mining in the afternoon, mining in the night. When these mining things are done, who buys them? You are mining gold. Who buys them? Illegal miners. Sometimes you see arrests made of Chinese people, of people from other nationalities. You know, they are arrested, and we don't get to hear again. Are they taken to the court of law? Are they convicted? Are they serving their jail terms? Who are their collaborators in Nigeria? Because, of course, there's no way some of these Chinese people that are being arrested every day by our security agencies, by our law enforcement agencies, somebody can just take a flight and then come into Nigeria.
All right.
So who are the collaborators in Nigeria? We need to begin to look at all this, because it's possible, it's possible that some of these guys, maybe people just come in, people are mining for them, and because, of course, like in Zamfara, the gold. Yes.
Now, regarding international cooperation, how do international cooperation and information sharing between intelligence agencies contribute to identifying and blocking terrorist financing?
I just hope that very soon the government will. I think let's start from our offices all over the world, our embassies. The earlier we have our designated ambassadors posted to those countries, the better it will be for us, because some of these things is not a matter of carrying your telephone and speaking to someone. We need to have our ambassadors in place so they can do the running around within the countries that they are. For instance, I think last week some Chinese people were arrested. But look at the number of people doing internet fraud in Nigeria. The other time, about 700 or 800 and something people. So many foreigners, from several countries were arrested. So we need a situation where our embassies in these countries are active with designated ambassadors. We need to start from there. And why do I say so? Because if you just come, you make some arrests here in Nigeria, and then the people are shown on television, and of course, you see, they look very remorseful. They look as if they were taken captive. They don't look like people who have been committing some serious criminal acts here. But if you have your ambassadors in those countries, they can easily get in touch with their foreign offices. They say, look at what your people are doing here. So number one, we need to do that. That's where I think we should really start. And of course, the other international, financial institutions that do these collaborations, we need to strengthen our system. And one wants to hope that the government agencies involved will hear the cry of the Chief of Defense Staff and will do the needful. But we need to have our embassies in place.
All right, Mr. Sora.
Working in those places.
Let's say thank you very much for joining us this evening and giving us your expert opinion on the matter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.